Welcome back to Chapter 2 of our literary journey with Unbroken. Let's take a look at what we have. Chapter 1 was about Louie's childhood in Southern California. But now he's reached high school and he's in a rough spot. So, read Chapter 2. The title of the chapter is Run Like Mad. So I'm going to copy that and do a right-click Properties on Chapter 2 folder and add that right here. So now it says Chapter 2, Run Like Mad. In the notes, this chapter was mostly about Louie and a little bit about his brother. It was about Louie's teenage years. Pete had arranged him to start running track to get him out of trouble, but he didn't like it. He was a natural at it, but still just wasn't for him. But when girls started to take notice, and when he went to this Kahio Indian Reservation in the summer of 1932, he started to really enjoy running for himself and not running for other people. And when he came home from that summer, he had a new passion for running. And this happened between 1931 and 1932. So what I'm going to do is copy all of this. Come back to the properties of Chapter 2 and paste it. So now it looks like this. Got all my notes in there. But we need to visualize the information. One of the first places in the book is talking about the high school and him running track. So I'm going to come here to Torrance, California High School. So let's do a search for that. Torrance High School. And if we zoom in, we'll see here is Torrance High School. And what I'm going to do is kind of look around. This looks like the school building. But if I just kind of look around for a second, oh, down here to the south, this looks like the track and field where he did most of his running. So I'm going to put a place mark there. So right click, add a place mark. I think I'll use this little sports looking icon and call this Louie's track field. And that's easy enough. But a more important location in this chapter was the Kahio Indian Reservation. So I'm going to copy that and do a search for that location. And that's going to take us a little bit away. Still here in Southern California. And right down here is the Indian Reservation. Now this Indian Reservation is a big place. So I did a little bit of searching on the internet and I found the boundaries to it. Now I'm not going to get it perfect, but I'm going to use this and do a little map profiling and use this because a place mark won't do here. The Indian Reservation is a huge place, so I'm going to draw a polygon instead. I'm going to right click, add a polygon, and I'm going to draw what looks to be the boundaries of this Indian Reservation, and you can kind of see it on here on the map. Something like that. Now in this case, the terrain is so important. So I'm going to come here to Style and Color, and I'm going to do a not filled and outlined, just outlined. And I'm going to make the line, the boundary of it, a little bit thicker so you can see it. Click OK when I'm happy with the way it looks. So there's the Kahio Indian Reservation that he was. But I wanted to say that on my map. So right click, add a place mark, and I am going to put in here, I'm going to copy this, come to my label, paste that there, and this time do a no icon. So I just have the Kahio Indian Reservation label right here. And click OK. There we go. Now when I show this, the book talked about in detail the rolling hills and the topography of it. So I might do something like this. Change the angle so that when we come to this location in Google Earth, we can see the terrain that the book was describing. And what I'm going to do is right click and go to Snapshot View. Now I've got a little bit of clutter right here because the polygon and the label of the polygon are two separate things. So I'm just going to add another folder, call it the Kahio Indian Reservation, and now I'm going to place the polygon and the label to the polygon in that one folder, so I turn both on and both off with one. And when I'm done with it, I'm going to do a file, save my places. Alright, so that's chapter 2. Stay with me because I'm going to add another chapter to this same video. I just need a little time to set it up. I'll be right back. Alright, welcome back to chapter 3. Now when we left off in chapter 2, Louis had been running at the Indian Reservation. In chapter 3, the chapter's called The Torrance Tornado. It's mostly about Louis, and it's about his journey to the 1936 Berlin Olympics. He had been running the mile, but he just could not quite catch up the world champions at that distance, at the age he was at. So he decided to switch to the 5,000 meter race, which is 3 times longer than the mile. He had to go to New York to qualify to the Olympics in the middle of a heat wave. He had qualified for the Olympics after only 4 times at competing at that distance, and he was the youngest Olympian to ever make the team. This took place between 1932 and 1936. Where was Southern California track scene, University of Southern California, the Los Angeles Coliseum, and the New York Olympic Trials. Now I went ahead and skipped a few things because you've seen me do it. For one, you've seen me name the chapters and put the metadata in. You've seen me do place marks with custom icons. Here's Louis graduating from high school. And then when he went to go train with his brother at the University of Southern California, I decided to add this picture as well. That's a picture of him with his brother. I skipped all that because you've seen me do it, and I want to spend more time on this next thing. Most of the chapter was about him qualifying at the New York Olympics. It happened at Randall Island Stadium. So I'm going to copy that and go to that location. As it's going there, I did a search for pictures of the Olympic trials and Louis, and I found a whole bunch of good stuff, a whole lot of pictures. So here's the stadium. There were 3 pictures I really, really liked. Here's a picture with him and his 2 main competitors. Notice he's wearing a Torrance, California high school. His 2 main competitors were going to Indiana University. Here's a picture of him training during the middle of the heat wave. And then here's a picture of him tying for first and making the Olympic team. I like all 3 of those pictures, so I decided to do a unique thing. What I did was add all 3 of those to a PowerPoint and then gave it a title, 1936 Olympic Trials. From here, I use the Snipping Tool. Now this is a technique I showed in one of my advanced tips. I'll go slow. You may need to watch this a couple times. But what you do is use the Snipping Tool. And I'm going to click and drag from upper left to lower right to copy the image that I want. And then you're going to save as. All right, I've already done that to make it a little bit quicker. And what I have is this all in one picture. Now I want to bring this in as a screen overlay. You may need to take a look at one of my advanced tip videos, and I'll leave a link to it in the description below. The easiest way to do this, in my opinion, is to right click and come down here to create shortcut. Here's the shortcut now. Now on the shortcut, I'm going to right click properties. And right here where it says target, I'm going to copy that. Now I come to my cheat sheet of HTML code when it comes to screen overlays. I showed this before, but once again, I'll also leave my email in the description box, so if you want this Word document, I'll send it to you. This is top left, top right. I think where I want to put this is the bottom center. All I need to change is what's here in red. This is why I copied the target location. So I'm going to now paste right here. But the one trick to it is the quotes. I have to get rid of these quotes at the beginning and the end. And now I'm going to copy all of this. Copy, and here's the magic. Now I'm going to right click, paste, and now I have those three images as one image in the bottom center of my screen. I'm going to move this stadium up a little bit, give this a right click, snapshot view, and now I can go from his graduation to him training with his brother at USC, and then a picture of all of his Olympic trials exploits in New York City, right there at the stadium. And then, as always, File, Save, and over to Save My Places. And there you have it. There's chapter 2 and 3. Chapter 3 is one of my favorite chapters in the book. I hope you enjoyed it if this is the book you're reading. If not, I highly recommend it. Remember to save my places after you do a lot of work like that. And thanks for watching Map Your World.